Hi, this is Joe Shahada from Top Tier Capital. Well, today was a largely dollar strength day. Almost all the currencies went down against the dollar, and I actually have some good setups here that I want to talk about. So this first chart is a chart of the British pound versus the US dollar. Now, you can clearly see we were in this fantastic downtrend channel here, and it was strong and steep, and we actually broke through the channel, the bottom of the channel today. And so just a really strong downtrend. We also broke through the support line. Now this line was supposed to be really strong support, and we didn't even blink at it. We just went right through it like it wasn't there. And that's great for the bears going forward. But for me, I'm actually thinking about going long the British pound here because of a couple of things. First of all, we generally think of downtrend channels as the bottom of that channel to be good support. If we break down through that level that's supposed to be support, I always think of that as not being a failure of support. I think it usually almost always goes back into that channel. So I'm looking for that to happen. And we also have the RSI here completely massively oversold. When we got below 30 down here before, and we got below 30 again here today, and they're not that far apart from each other time-wise. And on top of that, we also have this big, steep downward momentum. That is always a fantastic buying opportunity, so, at least in my opinion. So I'm looking to pick this one up here. I'm not just going to buy it right now. I'd like to see a little bit more proof. But for me, I think this could be a great trade. So we have a failure of the downtrend channel. We have a failure of support. The RSI is massively oversold, and I'm thinking about getting in on this one. I think it could be really good. So that's the British pound. Let's move over to the Australian dollar. Now the Australian dollar is also in a downtrend channel, not as steep, not as strong, but you can see we also had dollar strength today against the Aussie here. So if the Aussie can break out of this channel, then I would be a buyer. But for now, we just got to assume this downtrend is going to continue. So as long as we're in this downtrend, then it's going to stay on as far as I'm concerned. And here's a good reason why. This previous uptrend channel we were in, you can clearly see how that one stayed and strong until we had a definitive breakout. When we had a definitive breakout, we corrected almost the entire channel. So this is where I like to see prices move to. So if we do break out of this channel to the upside, I would expect most of the channel to be eclipsed, and that's usually how the market cycles go. So that's the Australian dollar. Just look for more downside pressure there. Now let's move on to the euro. All right, so the euro is the interesting one here, and we kind of called this one happening while it was going on, and I had a little short that I was talking about with that one, and it looks pretty good. So we had a long upward trend channel for months going on, and when we finally had a precipitous breakout, that's this red bar right here, that's when you got to start looking to go short, when we break out of these trend channels. But what you want to see is a failure of the bottom resistance here. This previous support is not going to be resistance, so when we tried to test it and failed, that's when you get on and go short. And so right about here, you can see we've just gone down since we failed to breach resistance. And now the big line we want to look at for possible support moving forward is this triple top. It was a double top here that turned into a little tiny triple top that eventually, kind of led to some congestion. But when we finally broke out of it, we broke higher. So I would expect this area to at least get congested, if not prove to be pretty good support. So anyway, that's our currency analysis for today. I hope you find this a little bit useful. And as always, thank you for watching and happy trading.